I'm thinking like.
I mean, you got a 10. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, you haven't heard anything historically. Really, just the first time you'd ever heard of anybody doing anything with blood. Besides like small village tribes having weird, unproved rituals with blood. But the only time you ever heard anything of realistically being done with blood was the tale of your fellow compatriots fighting a bloodmancer.
How about we open one or more of the barrels?
He didn't run in this direction, did he?
Who didn't run?
The Bloodomancer.
No, he ran the other direction.
I'm being summoned. 1 second. Yes?
So Mama is going to try to summon like that fire shield. So I'm thinking alter and harm.
I think that would work. You probably wouldn't need to do the harm part.
Well, I'm thinking like kind of like summoning like a superheated layer of like air or something around her, or the fire around her. So like
you probably want to extend it to last a while.
So maybe alter and extend.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 4 mana to create that.
Alter is a inanimate object. If you're doing it to yourself, it'd be enhance.
So enhance, and extend.
Hold on, there's something else. Transform. Change the natural form of a person or object to kind of. So transform and extend.
Okay, so
fire shield.
To kind of summon up that shield or create that shield around me. Superheat the air. Okay, so I'm marking off 4 mana to try and create that and see what effect it has on the stuff.
Yeah, and it as Mama suddenly starts kind of. I like to think that almost like the cracks in the stone of your body kind of start to like light up red as you almost look like you have a bit of volcanic effect to you.
Oh, that's neat.
Around you. And it quickly dies out and seems to stop the blood from moving. It kills it.
This much better.
Your footprints leave charred remains of blood.
Yeah. Fire was a good choice.
So Mama is just going to kind of stomp around a little bit and kind of clear a path.
What'd you get on your roll there for Mama?
Let's see. 8.
So we'll call that an 8-hour duration.
Ooh, nice.
For the fire cloak?
Yep.
Cool.
Doesn't really do any intense damage. It'll stop things from being able to really like grapple you, but it won't add to your damage or anything like that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of that was the idea.
Yeah. And yeah, it's definitely working on this blood. Which, I don't know what burnt blood smells like, but you guys are getting a good whiff of that.
Ooh, yeah. Like a iron kind of tinge to the air, like your forge or something.
Stop yelling at me, dog.
So now you've all moved up to this room, and Mama has found a good way to keep some blood off of her.
Just summon fire.
Yeah, that's not how my magic works.
Mama just stares at you all expectantly. Summon fire.
I've been doing the opposite, and then I've been sucking the fire out of it.
Oh! Mark gets that color-changing lantern back, and he's like, "Ta-da! I summoned the fire." Then he puts it away.
Oh, your lantern.
Really,
it's always there. It's just kind of on your hip. So I guess that's right. Mark always has a light source right there.
And I can change its color, which is cool. How about we pop open one of the barrels? I'm betting it's either blood, fresh food, spoiled liquids, or fresh liquids. And by that I mean like alcohol or water.
I don't know. We found stationery in one of them. I mean, it could be anything.
How about we look? I mean, do you usually store stationery in a barrel?
Do you
I guess
usually
that would
store
be right.
stationery in a crypt?
Yeah, yeah.
No, but that makes more sense than putting it in a barrel.
That's what I'm saying. This shit's weird.
All right, who's popping open a barrel and how you doing it?
Mark looks at Mama. Could you do it?
I will break it open. And Mama smacks one of the barrel tops.
And
That's one way.
roll me a melee attack on it.
Okay, strength plus.
How do you open a barrel anyways? I don't even know how to do that.
Pull the top
Pry
off.
it open.
Not good.
Oof. Yeah, Mama smacks it and it kind of it knocks it off the stack, so it just kind of goes rolling across the floor.
They are invincible.
Oh, I love Mama so much.
Wait, what do you have to roll?
I turn it back over to its side, pull out like the knife I use for cooking, and use it to like try and pry open the top.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. You'll also want to give me a strength and power attack.
All right. So is this like melee or is it just strength and power?
Strength and power.
Okay. Because I did a thing that lets me do alternative thing.
Yeah.
So,
But you're not attacking it, you're actually trying to pry it open.
Yeah, there's finesse involved. For example.
So
I'm actually not sure about this because like I did
7.
Sure. We'll do 7, but I'm trying to figure out if this exclamation point 2 just adds another die or not.
No, what it does is if it will only take the it rolls the 3. Oh, well, actually it rolls you 4 on. I don't know what yours is doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an exclamation point means that if it is an explosion, it rolls again. I don't know what 2 does. I don't think it does anything. Which is weird, because you'd think exclamation point 2 would make it explode double, right?
No, it
does
gets
not
rid
seem
of
to
the
do that.
lowest. Is what it does, and the explosion is from the exclamation point.
Well, then if the exclamation point 2 made it get rid of the lowest, then it would be 9. It's displaying 10.
I'm not sure what it did there. It still added them all up, and it rolled 4 of them instead of 3.
It always adds all of mine up. I always have to do the math myself.
But that is a 7, which is enough to pry the top off of one. Which, not to your surprise, they are filled with blood. However, to your surprise, after seeing the blood in the barrels, you get that fermented alcoholic liquor burn to your nostrils.
What?
This is alcoholic blood.
Is that just a residual smell of what these
I'm
barrels
not
were
reading
originally
that.
used for?
Perhaps, but that might also be that this creature has been going through alcoholic fermentation because it didn't have access to oxygen. Which would mean that its blood alcohol content would probably render it flammable.
Do you want to try? I hand it over to you.
Hand what over to me?
The barrel.
Why? Well, I'm not going to light it up.
Well, okay then.
I'd
I'm
recommend
doing
not
anything.
setting fire to this place.
What was that?
I'd recommend not setting fire to this place.
I look
It's
around.
always great to use fire in a small enclosed space.
Yeah. Every adventurer knows this.
So, we're probably all filled with blood.
Mama's not.
So,
Oh.
I look at the others. So, do we need to take a sample?
Probably.
I don't know how to safely contain it.
I mean, the barrels contained it.
I mean, emphasis on the word safely.
Can I do a protect? Well, I have plant enchanting as an option. Could I somehow enchant a barrel? Probably this barrel because we know it has some of the blood in it, but alcoholic.
Well, being that the barrel is a barrel and not a life plant anymore, that would not let you enchant it.
Well, you said that a lot of the spells I do, it's because I make those little paper tags and stick them on.
But now we've kind of switched over to, that you use life magic, so it would have to involve life in some way.
Well, see, the problem is, like, when I didn't know I had to pick a thing for right there, and I have to do it, like, on the spot.
That's fair. Yeah, if you want to think about it a little bit more.
Like, I don't know, man. No, normally I do, like, enchanting and stuff, and I have enchanter in my concepts, right? My three things are health, plant, and enchanter. Well, and demon. Fourth thing. Demon of health and plant enchanter.
Yeah, so you may want to hold off on spells for the moment, though, and go and look up the spellcasting block on the Clattr wiki and just kind of get that situated. Figure out an arcana that does fit your theme.
I recommend that we continue. There's probably nothing else of knowledge or other value here in this room.
You don't want to drink the alcoholic blood?
No.
No.
I want to ward it and take the barrel back to a scientist.
I mean, these are pretty hefty barrels to be kind of lugging around.
Low-key, Mark kind of wants to, but he's not going to risk it.
We have Mama, if all else fails.
Yeah, even Mama probably would just be able to just carry the barrel all day.
I'm carrying lots of things.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if we want blood samples, we need to have a plan specifically for blood samples and probably specialized equipment. Like, I don't know, some kind of aquarium that you put in a safe on a cart.
So, shall we continue? To...
Yeah.
The other door?
Yes.
So, you're sitting Mama in front, correct?
Yes. Same formation.
Yeah. So you guys are kind of lining up into that formation, and Mama opens that door. But right as you grab the handle, you do grab the handle, but then not only do you pull it, but it gets pushed open, and you're kind of surprised and take a bit of a step back. As in front of you, in brass armor, is a giant blood monster.
Ugh, God damn it.
It seems to have almost a canine head. Its body is it looks like it would be incredibly muscular and bulky, with very short legs and long arms. And it was kind of pushing on the door, and it looked almost like it was surprised to see you as well. But then kind of like stretched its maw out as if it was to roar, and mostly just like bits of blood just kind of squirt up and sizzle against Mama as they hit her.
Oh.
And it seems pretty aggressive, so we're going to go ahead and roll initiative with agility and focus.
Wait, give me a second.
There's a 1 for Mama.
Oh, yay.
Do we roll
Um,
3 dice for that as well?
Yes.
Yes.
So mine's a 10.
Agility and focus, you said?
Yeah. It's just gonna get this little tiefling picture for it because
What
I'm
it looks like?
So,
trying to picture. That's not at all what it looks like.
Yeah.
It is made completely out of blood, with some kind of canine head and a very, very large, bulky body, and then is armored in brass. Not just armored, but it looks like almost like it's being like you've seen the screws like tied together as if it's being held together by the brass and shaped by it. By a combination of brass and some enchantments.
So it has bling.
It does have, I mean, as blingy as brass is.
Brass is pretty blingy. Have you seen the saxophone?
So let's see. Mama got a 4.
Yes.
Murasaki got a 10. Lampe got a 15.
Yes.
Lee did. Lee got a 15. And Mark got a 7. So it's going to be Lee, Murasaki, Mark, and then Mama. And so, Lee, you are the quickest to react as this thing comes stepping through the doorway.
Okay. Do I have any reason to believe that knives are effective against sentient pools of blood?
You would have no reason to believe that.
Okay.
But you have no reason that you don't know what's going on here. It's sentient blood.
You do know that fire works on it.
Yeah, but I don't have a means of fire.
Oh, actually, I did want to talk to you about the daggers, though, because
Okay.
you do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah,
And you originally
apparently.
had the concept of, yeah,
and
and you had the
Came as quite
original
a
concept of,
surprise.
yeah, you had the original concept of wanting to do kind of a poison attack. So I was thinking, or having your blood be poisonous, something like that.
Mhm.
I was thinking you could do something where you actually poison tip your daggers.
I'm gonna want to put my blood into the blood monster.
You mean instead of the expertise, it's
You still have the expertise, but it's also a combination of just
like how we explain
they're-
the knife throwing expertise is that I
not only are you really good at throwing knives, but also they do more damage because they're poison tipped.
Okay, yeah, I'll rub my poison gland and throw my knife, I guess. Because then maybe poisoning the blood, like Shuria getting it drunk, is feasible.
You rub your what?
My poison gland. Don't worry about it.
Someone scienced him.
He's
been
a
scienced.
Nord, right?
Well,
He is
yeah.
the only human that has been scienced.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't
it's
you know
perfect.
North had poison glands?
Yeah, just sometimes you find a Nord and they have poison glands. Anyway. Did I write down what that is? Apparently not.
It'll still be just your attack, which I think you did like an agility.
Yeah, it's
Or
agility
you
power,
your
so that's 5.
perception and
That's a D10.
agility power.
Right. And I get an additional die for the trait?
I think so, yeah, if it
Okay. Ugh. Another 1. That is an
Someone
8.
just join us.
I just saw everybody was in here, and I was just wondering what was up.
Yeah, we're gaming.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're playing some Clattr.
What is it called?
Clattr, it's my system that I made. It's a tabletop pen and paper RPG like D&D or Pathfinder.
It's really fun.
Yeah, if you want to see the whole effect, Lampe, you should, or actually if you go up to the media promotion, Lampe is streaming it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did I just walk in on a stream? I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine, man.
It happens to us all.
I'll talk to
Especially
you guys
Sharia.
later.
All right, talk to you later. Talk to you.
Actually, especially Rad. I think Rad is the one that does it the most.
Well, it kind of makes sense a little bit because not a super common thing in this chat. When you see a gaming chat, you're like, oh, what are they doing? Let me check it out.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a tabletop chat.
Probably, yeah. But we actually do.
You do?
Yeah.
Should we join that one?
We're already in this one. It's fine. Maybe next time.
Oh.
So yes. You rolled an 8.
Yeah.
So your dagger seems to hit it and just kind of it hits some brass and clatters off to the ground ineffectually.
Yeah.
Name drop.
Oh, that was checkmate.
Yeah.
Shit. My mistake.
And then Omurasaki.
Okay. So, first question. Can I take monk/priest for my type of mage?
Well, that's
Because I'm going
more
for
of
the Shinto monk type thing.
right, but what does that mean for magic, right? If you're saying what kind of spellcaster are you, right? If you were to ask somebody that and they're like, "Oh, I'm a monk."
Yeah.
Like monk is more about being scholarly and usually physically perfect in a lot of fantasy cultures. But it doesn't describe like monk. What is monk magic?
So in Shinto, monks, because that's kind of what I'm going off of. I have the staff with the little janglies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Janglies, of course.
A lot of the things they do is like they'll do healing things like any priestly type person will do, but they also have those little tags that do things like banish demons and do protection and all sorts of.
In anime, they literally call it spiritual powers. Isn't that what the spirit magic is supposed to be? Isn't spirit?
Yeah, that's more like spirit magic, but that would also then distance you away from plants.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you're trying to do too much with it. I think you gotta focus more. I don't think.
Yeah, the Arcana is supposed to be a focus, and kind of it's supposed to empower your cantrips and also limit what kind of magic you can cast. So somebody isn't saying, "Oh, well, I'm going to use a fireball here, and then I'm going to control plants here, and then I'm going to cause an earthquake."
Yeah.
See, this was never communicated to me because I was under the impression that I could technically do anything.
Yeah, like I said, you should read over the spellcasting block, and it'll give you kind of an idea of some examples and stuff.
Well, yeah, it had shaman, and in my case, I'm like, well, could I go for the Shinto thing?
Yeah, well, I'm saying you totally can, but it would distance you from plants.
Yeah, because the Shinto don't do plant magic.
Wait, does our Arcana limit the type of spells we could cast?
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
So I couldn't cast a mend spell.
You'd have to figure out how a void would mend. And that would probably be pretty unlikely because void is a very destructive thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, how I was thinking of it is like, oh yeah, your wound is healed, but you have a bunch of like nasty warts and pustules left behind.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a trade-off.
You're no longer bleeding, but you have that. So like in dire circumstances, Mark would be able to do that. That's what I was thinking would happen.
Yeah, I don't know if that argument would quite pass. I think void magic would not be healing. Destroy the damage. Yeah, void is all about destroying everything. So putting something back together is kind of against its entire ideology.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, if somebody said fire was their thing, and like, oh, I'm gonna heal with my fire magic, it's like, yeah, yes, you can cauterize wounds, but generally that is just damaging things so it can heal later.
Yeah, or stopping like a wounding or bleeding effect.
Yeah.
So like for example, my magic is natural protection. So like when I summoned the fire shield around me, it was because it was in the form of a shield. So you kind of got to bend the magic to whatever your Arcana is.
Yeah.
And like,
do you need
the
to
fire limited the types of spells you could cast?
Do you need to have magic over plants? Like, can you be an herbalist and a priest? Is that not reasonable?
Well, you can be like that. That's very reasonable.
Yeah.
My brain.
Do you bother to use magic for plants? Have you done that?
I don't know if I have.
Stop the T-Rex. Yes, you did.
Ah, okay. So I have manipulated plants directly.
Okay.
Yes.
You sound
Which
like a druid
I
to
think
me.
does work for, yeah, like a druid or life magic sounds kind of in the right area. But that does, distance itself from controlling spirits. You could control, living things using the talisman papers.
Hmm.
You'd have
Well,
that
see-
as part of the aesthetic.
Well, see, we went back and forth, and you said that my aesthetic for casting spells was generally I have these little tags, and I have prepaid tags, and I just channel energy through them.
Yeah, and that works perfectly. That doesn't really connect. That's just how the spell is delivered, not really the theme or the arcana of it. It's just flavoring.
Okay.
Like if somebody says they're a pyromancer, but they're like, yeah, I actually create a gun in my hand and I fire fire bullets at my enemies. Like, yeah, that's a theme.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, could it be kind of like innately my energy prefers to go into plants, but if I want to do anything more complicated, I have to channel through tags or something. If that
I mean,
makes
I would say just the tags are just once again for flavoring. I think life magic is the right way to go, and so you can just affect the life force of stuff. It just makes it so that, yeah, for damaging you'd be draining life force.
okay.
But you wouldn't be able to do things like freeze something or cause an earthquake, because that doesn't fit the life arcana.
Well, yeah, but I did mention two things I want to eventually do, which are the tent that goes into a demiplane.
Yeah, see,
Right.
and that would definitely not be connected to life magic. That'd be
And-
planar magic.
And the butterfly wings.
Although
That
you could
one,
already do the
I
butterfly wings.
think would argue pretty lifelike for that one. I would allow the butterfly wings.
Yeah. That's cool.
That sounds
Yeah.
like life nature magic. But what are you gonna do for this round?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do. Did I just see him throw a knife at it?
Yes, and he hit the brass and it bounced off ineffectually.
Okay.
Think of a reason Mark would be able to cast every single type of spell except for mend. Okay, except for enhance. So except for mend and enhance, I could think of how he could do everything else.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
You could probably enhance if it was kind of like, taking a crazy drug. Highly unadvised.
And it's not just that you're in every field, it's kind of what you do with those fields. Like I was saying, unless you have earth magic, you're not going to cause an earthquake.
So the first step is to see if it is even possible to just beat the shit out of this thing. Right?
All right.
Because I would prefer not to use mana if possible. So,
A wise decision.
yeah. Accurate melee says that my melee is agility focus, which is the D12s. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
10. As I go up
Very
and whack
nice.
it with my stick. Because I don't want to touch it with my hand.
And
Right.
you seem to, yeah, you whack it pretty hard. It seems to throw it off balance and it steps back a bit.
Did it seem to damage it?
It's hard to tell with amorphous
Yeah, it's a
blood.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.